Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host of LG Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. Today we are covering a new series entitled Belle Collective Birmingham. This is a spin-off from its original series called Belle Collective that features women from Jackson, Mississippi. Now with Belle Collective Birmingham, it features women from Birmingham, Alabama. Spun off from our own Stormy Steele. This is season 1, episode 1. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like, comment, share, and you can subscribe to my channel if you are new. All are welcome. Now let's get into this new series. Okay, so as I mentioned before, Stormy Steele, she is going to be the face, and she's being spun off for this new series, Belle Collective Birmingham. Now, we first met Stormy Steele. She was on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She came on either season 6 or 7 and stayed around until like 8, possibly 9. I think it was like 8. Anyways, she was introduced through Mel, who is one of the stars, Mel Cherie of Love and Marriage Huntsville at the time. She had did a music video using Stormy Steele's acreage of land. So anyways, Stormy Steele is a cosmetic beauty mogul right now, and she's really thriving in what she's doing, which is her business called Canvas Beauty. Just to let you know something, Stormy, I don't think this now, but I did when you first got on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I didn't like you. It took me a minute to actually wanting to really like you, but I came around to liking you. But anyways, she has this beauty brand of different products. I haven't bought anything from it, but anyways, Stormy introduces herself as a mogul. She has collabed with Fenty Beauty, that's Rihanna. Also on TikTok, she has been the #1 live TikTok seller in the US and also UK. She was the first to have over $1 million sales on live streams on TikTok. Now, if you heard my review from Belle Collective that also aired last night, she told us that she doesn't feel like she gets enough recognition, and she believes that it's because of the color of her skin. You know, it's like it's a great thing, but they would prefer it to be on a different face, unfortunately. But anyways, she has been asked, how does she do it? She said, for now, that's going to be a secret of hers. Do I think she's gatekeeping? No. But I think that she's coming with a strategy to actually tell how she actually made this all happen. And hey, right now, the best thing that you can do is to sow into her. And even if you don't have the strategy or game plan as her, you might as well get the anointing from her, because what you sow into, you will reap. And when you are ready to actually get into that and to be as renowned as a Stormy is, you'll be set because you have planted the right seeds. She talks about that she's visited China and seeing all these famous streamers over there making their millions and billions. She's traveled to India and has met a president over there. I said, okay, I really didn't know that much. I don't follow Stormy like that. Unless there's something going on YouTube and they're reporting something. Unfortunately, Stormy, I do hear some of your accolades too. I just don't hear some of the mess. Just to let you know that. But anyways, years ago, she started off business as an entrepreneur, being a hairdresser, and she called her salon at the time Canvas Girl. Her mom didn't believe in what is you doing, calling your business Canvas Girl. What'd she say? Her mom called her a dumb beat. I said, oh, no, Miss Betty, we met her on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She's a tough cookie, I'll just say that much. But that's still Stormy's mom. Dre, who is the manager over the warehouse of where they're actually packaging and shipping out all products. Stormy's talking with her. She has come there. She's in her fur and with her dog. When we first met Stormy, that wasn't what was going on, but I think she's showing us the elegant side. But she didn't have that office space the last time that we saw her, so I'm sure things have spruced up. Do I think that Stormy on a regular basis will come in there with her fur? Probably not. But we saw her with her husband doing a lot of the manual labor. especially in getting good help and to getting all these packages out, all these deliveries and orders out. So anyways, Dre was talking about all the orders being fulfilled by TikTok. I was like, oh, she got TikTok workers? But I think that there are specific orders that are coming from TikTok that they were talking about. But anyways, she starts talking about a collab that she's going to be doing with Lala Anthony. Of course, as I said before, we know her from TRL. She married Cam Anthony from the New York Knicks. Friends with Kim Kardashian and all that. Starred in a lot of movies. She was on Power for a couple, or was it for 1 season or 2 seasons? I forgot. I didn't really watch the original Power, but I've caught most of the spinoffs that are out there for Power. But anyways, she plans on doing a mega live in regards to this collaboration that she's going to be having. She goes into her office and she has this fur, and the dog that she has, Trey, is lying on the fur. I said, we do that? Not making fun. I'm just making an observation like, oh, that's like rich woman stuff, white woman stuff, They allow their dog to lay on their fur, whatever. But obviously, there is a deep love there, and we'll get into that story in just a few minutes. Amber Jones, we meet her. She is the CFO of Campus Beauty. Her and Stormy have been friends for 10 plus years. What started off as a client relationship, I think that Stormy used to do her hair back in the day, has now evolved into a good friendship. They're planning a pre-release party for this Lala Anthony collab, and they're going to have it in Birmingham. I believe that Amber actually lives in Birmingham. Now, Stormy, I don't think lived in Huntsville. It was somewhere in between, but it's kind of between Huntsville and Birmingham. It's just like a hop and a skip anyways. But that's where they're going to have it because they've had other launches in New York, and I forgot other places that she mentions. But Amber wants to bring other women in for Stormy to meet. Stormy's more of a homebody. She pays attention to her husband and her child and all that. But Amber wants to venture out and to just see how she will do with other women. They talked about meeting ladies from a prayer group, Tiffany and Senata. I'm saying it wrong, and I apologize for that, and I will get it right the next time, but I cannot pronounce it right. But when they said Tiffany, I said, Tiffany, the one that's in the trailer in a prayer group? Oh. And I was hearing what she was saying. I said, oh, we are in for a treat. Because guess what? There's a lot of messy church folk. Unfortunately. But we're about to get into it on this show. So, next up, who comes in the room? Another one of Stormy's managers, I forgot his name. He shows the box prototype that they're going to be releasing during this pre-release of the packaging that they had. She looks at it, and it's just not the standard of Campus Beauty. She gets Michael on the phone and says, hey, what's up? Michael says, well, the budget wasn't there. And she says, what do you mean the budget wasn't there? Yes, it is there. Basically, what's being shipped in right now is not what she wants. And she's only going to get a certain amount by January 30th. If they do rework this box that they want, the next shipment wouldn't come in until the 23rd of February. So Stormy's upset about that. She throws the box in a dramatic fashion while she's in her confessional. So everyone's trying this whole confessional where you see the full body now. Before, it was a different thing where you're just really dressed from from a little bit up here up. Like, it's not that much. But I think some would dress fully. If you ever have listened to the earlier days of Reality with the King with Mr. Carlos King. Shout out to Mr. Carlos King in this new production. I'm glad that OWN really believes in his product and what he has to offer to the OWN network and to the entertainment realm, especially the reality TV genre. Let's see. Yeah, they spent over $150K just on this. Again, she said budget is not an issue. Stormy's upset. Cool. So after that, we traveled to Stormy's home. We've seen the Anchorage before if you ever watched Love and Marriage Huntsville. But beautiful home. She got a stable with horses and all of that. Stormy does express that she's kind of what is it called? What? Like a animal whisperer in a way. She loves a lot of animals. She gets into that she was the only child, and kind of like, as growing up now, she's taken a liking to a lot of animals, and they're kind of her other companions outside of her husband and her child. We meet Smoke, which is one of her dogs, and Trey. Trey is the one that she's been holding. We also meet Gooch. And I'll just smile. Hey, Gooch. And I'll keep it at that for now. He's the groundskeeper. And Stormy was just asking how things going on, and he said everything's okay. I think he was speaking on one of the animals and all that, but anyways. Smoke is Courtney's dog, and Trey is hers. Trey was rescued from a rescue hospital. He was abused, and one of the arms basically were lost. It was just too broken or damaged that the hospital could not save it. So she adopted Trey, and ever since they've been just thick as thieves. Stormy calls Trey her emotional support dog. And she calls him Trey as in 3, because now Trey only has 3 legs. Next we meet Kayla, spelled K''LA. I think that's an interesting way to spell it. That's cool. What Kayla does, she teaches children and groom them to be within the acting and modeling world. I said that is very cool. She's known Stormy for 6 years. Then they started their relationship off of social media. She started this business back in 2018 after her daughter was featured in Black Panther. Congratulations. People began to ask, how did you actually start all this? How did you get your daughter into business, show business? She says, well, she started by charging different ones. They'll meet at like Starbucks, and she'll just give them somewhat of a blueprint and charging $35 each. Now that they've grown so fast, when she left her job, she was making $14K a year, and now she can do that in a day. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. She was saying that I didn't really understand exactly what she was saying, but making 17 figures in 18 months, I really didn't know that. But her business is like Kayla, the model maker. I think that's really cool. I wish we need an adult you also. She got a divorce recently. It was just finalized in September. She was 17 when she met this guy at Hooters, 32, that became her husband. She was quite quiet about this divorce. It was just recently that the children that they have, she has 4, found that they told their children that they are getting divorced. They were quite a close-knit family and all that. The hang-up about being with this guy, one, she grew up, she evolved, and there was just things that she wanted to do that he was holding her back from. And that's hard. Like, you're 32. At this point in your 30s is when you kind of just like take life more serious. Some in their 20s they do it, but it's just like, okay, now I got to really get my act together. You were ready for life. Kayla was not ready. Kayla was just about to start her journey in life, and that was. But anyways, I don't want to say settled, but she went on and did stuff that possibly she would have done in her 30s opposed to then and there. Kayla was like, I know that sounds kind of disturbing that I'm talking about he met me at Hooters. She said that she was never one of the Hooter girls because, you know, you got to have the boobs and all of that and the body to do that. I've been to Hooters several times. Some don't have the body, but I believe whatever she says. I don't know what exactly she was doing there, but hey. But Hooters is a place where you get wings and stuff, but the attraction is for men to go there to have eye candy to look at. And a lot of women do that, especially younger women. A lot to just pay bills and pay for school. So if y'all don't know anything about Hooters. Kayla says that it's been about 2 years in the making of them ready to get a divorce, so it was something. Stormy said that she wished that she could have been there. But Stormy in her confessional says that also she could tell that Kayla could not fly with him. And now she's booming. Now, we meet Miss Tiffany Jones. We see her with her prayer group. There's a prayer group meeting going on. She's the wife of Mr. Willie Jones. They have a blended family. We haven't really got into who's whom, whose child is whom, but whatever, as of yet. They have a cleaning company together, a mobile detail service, and an event center. They also have some products that they will be releasing soon called Chosen, something to that nature. We also meet Amber's niece, Kylan, who is also a part of the prayer group. We hear Tiffany give a great prayer, and it looks like it's also some type of Bible study. I think that that's cool because I think you do need the word and also prayer along with it. So I'm not for sure if it's called a Bible study or whatever, but you need both of those. We meet the next Belle. We call her Fumi. Miss Emanuela, I'm going to learn your full name. I know that you gave us a long name. I'm going to learn it just so that I could respect you for who you are and not just take the easy route and just knowing this name. Eventually, I'm going to learn your name. Maybe not next week, but before this season is over with, I'm going to learn it and cite it for you. Fumi, she's a Nigerian born. She's a content creator and the influencer of fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and hair. She has 2 children with her husband, Sam. He's a lawyer. Almost sounds like Wendy, besides the whole 4 degree. But anyways, they're house hunting. Fumi really feels like she should be the one to make the deciding factor because, you know, she's the architect of the home. The homemaker should be the one doing that. And all she really needs is for Sam to show up with the check. Her sister comes over. Her sister is a little bit older than her. Whenever they came to the United States, she was her mom for, I forgot how many years she actually said, but helped raise her, basically. She has her own opinions about a house or whatnot, but they asked the 2 sons, do they want to move? And they said no. And Fumi was like, well, don't you want a backyard? They're like, no, they like where they're at right now. And they never really experienced a backyard to play and all that. I think that that's a good experience. I had a backyard and a front yard to play in and all that good stuff growing up. But I think it is a good experience. I also feel for children with moving. Now, I didn't have to move. We actually stayed in the same home for the time that I was growing up. But anyways, so I don't know that experience. But I think a lot of children don't like to move. Now, if the moving causes them to have to change schools and all of that, that's kind of just, that's risky to do, where you got to just, when they want to be settled in, they got to get new teachers. I mean, you do get a new teacher as you grow in each grade, but at the same point, it's nothing different from being comfortable someplace and then being uprooted someplace to go someplace else. So, I don't know. It's risky. And Fumi said, look, these boys who don't want to take baths, they don't get to say. I love her humor. Right off the bat, Mr. Carlos King did ask this question. I think Fumi, outside of Stormy, since I already am familiar with her, probably the one that I'm taking the liking to thus far, but we're way ahead of the game. And I'm not trying to say I'm standing anyone. I'm just taking the liking to Fumi right now. Anything else? Yeah, that's it. We go back to Amber. Amber lives with her niece, Kylan. Kylan is an influencer and marketing coordinator for Canvas Beauty. Amber goes back into her resume. She does say that she was a tomboy growing up and somehow evolved into just now demonstrating, how can I say this? Girly attributes. I'll say it that way. She played in basketball. In 2009, she played basketball in Birmingham for the college league. She talked about her accolades in basketball. She made basketball history. Top 10? I thought I wrote it down right. The top 10 scorer within the basketball league. She ended up playing also professionally, going overseas. The first time I really known that is with Love and Basketball. Is that it? With Sanaa Lathan and Omar Epps. I think that's it. Love and Basketball. When Monica, she went overseas to play professionally. A lot because there wasn't a lot of opportunity for women. And still with the WNBA, that seemed to had taken a rise within the late 90s and early 2000s have now kind of went to the what do you want to call it? To the background again. However, over in Italy, look, overseas, you're a lot more appreciated than you are in America. And I think America just takes for granted for a lot of things. And you are praised and loved a whole lot more someplace else. It's a sad frog that can't get praised in their own minds. So she was overseas for 5 years, and then she moved back to Birmingham, and now she is who she is. Stormy calls her and reports that only 2,400 of those boxes out of, I think, 5,000 that she ordered will be there on the pre-launch date in January. What did I say? January 30th. Of course, she's upset about that. Stormy gives a rundown on people that she has. She has not told Lala about some of the hiccups that are going on right now. But anyways, Stormy gives a rundown on whom she's invited. She mentions a girl named Kayla. Amber's familiar with Kayla, and there seems to be an issue there. Anytime Kayla comes around, Kayla will ignore her, won't even say hi to her, and all that good stuff. I guess Stormy hadn't really seen it before, but it's come to her attention now. It's just like she's just ignored for whatever reason. But obviously, Amber's the type of person, if Stormy is cool with them, then she makes an effort to try to be cool. But she just doesn't really know what's going on and why Kayla treats her the way that she is treated. Next, Tiffany and her friend Kendra Wilson, who is the first lady of Birmingham, they basically are kind of like the city girls. They've known each other for a very long time. They used to kick it, all that. So we got a Carisha and JT, basically. Tiffany just met Stormy 3 days ago, and she likes her. Of course, I don't know when this show got greenlit, but obviously it was a short amount of time where they needed to start recording, because I remember photos that were leaked some time ago. But anyways, they're driving to the Campus Beauty with a pre-release party. Now that we're at the venue, the party's about to start. Stormy does call Lala, and she tells her, there has been some hiccups, and Lala was like, I bet, because you haven't really been telling me nothing. She's like, yeah, da-da-da-da-da. Stormy shows her the venue and the whole setup, and Lala is very impressed and very excited into all of this, because I think Lala will be at the actual launch later on. Lala was there to just encourage her and just be the greatest boss itch that is out there. Cool. Soon, Fumi, Tiffany, and Kendra arrive, and then we meet Sunita, who is Tiffany's friend and a part of the prayer group. Kayla shows up, and she has a date. Now, she has a date, and his name is Jason. He's 52. And we're like, oh, what's up? Stormy in her confessional is like, I really hope that Kayla, at this point, is not going back to what is familiar. And she really just wants Kayla to move forward in life. I don't know. I got to get more of the relationship to really have an opinion. I just have an eyebrow up right now. So we'll see what's up with that. Destiny, who is on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Destiny Payton, and Latricia, they come. She is also on Love and Marriage Huntsville right now. Shout out to them and this Love and Marriage and Belle Collective bridge right now. And they just basically just celebrate Stormy. Now, Kayla and Amber are around each other, and again, Kayla is ignoring Amber. Amber doesn't know what's up, as far as what we know right now, but anyways. The collective that's being branched together meet, and it looks like Fumi's very talkative, and it's getting on Tiffany's nerves, as you can see on the expression on her face. Tiffany tries to pivot the conversation to start talking about Stormy, and then next thing you know, Fumi starts talking some more. But Tiffany in her confessional is like, she talks a little bit too much. So obviously there's going to be some action later on. I think Fumi is just somebody that you just don't want to mess with. Let her be. That's what I'm getting. Like, don't start me up. Amber did kind of make light of Fumi's height. She's like 5'4" or whatever. Amber was kind of shocked, like, oh, I didn't realize that. Amber, you a sports person, so everybody's gonna be short to you anyways. But Fumi doesn't really. She knows that her presence is commanding when she comes into a room. So, hey, I like that about her. So Amber talks with Stormy, and she said, hey, it's happening again with Kayla. So Stormy goes and brings Kayla over, and Amber and Kayla talk. It was an awkward situation as far as Stormy, I guess she didn't want to get into it with them and all that, but she just kind of said, y'all talk, even though she was in an awkward place and even wanting to get that started. And Amber said, basically, you didn't speak. Oh, I didn't notice. Now, Amber said in the earlier scene, it's always like Kayla she's aloof to what's going on. I think for Kayla, at this point, I don't even know why you said, oh, I didn't notice. Because that could come off as arrogant and prideful. When you could have said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to do that. I mean, maybe you're going to say that a little bit later, but to just come off right then and there, that don't look right. So overall, I'm liking this series thus far. We're getting back to whomever is like really business moguls. I know that we're going to get into relationships and all of that. I just really want that to be the secondary thing instead of making it the whole situation, because it is Belle Collective. It shouldn't be Love and Marriage Alabama or Love and Marriage Birmingham. In my opinion, there's got to be something differentiating the franchises, in my opinion. But anyway, that's all I got. Again, I'm taking a liking to Fumi, but I'm not standing anyone right now. It's way too early for all of that. Good job, Stormy. I'm happy for you in getting this. I think that you are a lot more comfortable in doing this outside of what was going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville. Unfortunately, it's a beast over there. But I appreciate everyone for coming. Y'all give me your thoughts on this premiere of this, and what do you hope to see out of this, and whom do you have a liking to, or whom you are standing? Just for me, I'm just not standing anyone, but some people can already pre-stand. Y'all let me know. I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, peace.